about 2 years ago now. It's a 2001 Impreza 2.5 RS. It was originally non-turbo, and when we fixed the front end, because I bought it total, well, not quite total, it was wrecked, and I bought it from the old lady's granddaughter who wrecked it, and it needed a core support, front bumper, front end, and that's where my dad and I came in and cut the front end, re-welded a new core support on, and first time I drove it home, first thing it did was blow a head gasket. The thing didn't even run. No compression, and it's pretty disappointing. So what's the first thing somebody would do? Well, obviously you swap it. Put a lot of money into it that you probably shouldn't have done. I'm pretty impressed with the way it runs. I kind of went all out, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, unfortunately. Went with a nice Garrett turbo, or HX35 full set actually. It does good. Yeah, $150 turbo and a $50 rebuild kit that it probably didn't even need, to be honest. Solid turbos, wicked. Need a little bit bigger displacement though. And transmission, I swapped the tranny as well with a 444 gear ratio. It turned out really good, it really did, but I should have gone a little bit smaller on the turbo or changed gear ratios and displacement. Not seeing boost until 4,500 RPMs or so. First gear is pathetic, there's nothing there. Second gear gets pretty lively, third gear is just livid. It's a 40 roll machine. Second gear, third gear, love it. 100% of the time, these roads are pretty clear. Gotta love the views and the sceneries out here. Just beautiful. Mountains over there, canyon. Some of these turns I love. Really digs deep. Oh, love it. A lot of ideas for a swap and the rest of the build with this car. I really contemplated selling it or fixing it. It does seem like a lot of work to go through just to sell it. Nor will I probably get all my money out of it. I've only seen swaps go for around $7,000. And that's pretty good for a 2001 RS. These things normally only sell for 3,000, 2,000, 3,000. I really contemplated selling it or fixing it. It does seem like a lot of work to go through just to sell it. Nor will I probably get all my money out of it. I've only seen swaps go for around 7,000. And that's pretty good for a 2001 RS. These things normally only sell for 3,000, 2,000, 3,000. In good shape. I've seen some low mileage clean two doors go for quite a bit more. But the four doors, especially this would be kind of beaten up, and this has, what, 189,000 miles? I go with a 2.0 instead of a 2.5. I didn't have a 2.5. Well, I did, but I didn't want to build it, and you're looking at $1,000 to rebuild a 2.5, or $1,500 maybe for a stock. If you want to do any type of upgrades, pistons, rods, add another $500 for rods, another $500 for pistons, 5 to 6. $1,000, it just gets steep real quick. And that's without machining. You know, another $300 for machining. For some people that's reasonable for a motor build. For me, I like to do stuff on a budget. I myself an EJ20Y on eBay for $1,500. Now you gotta be careful. This is the third one I've ordered, and they can be hit and miss. The very first one I ordered, I actually had a blown turbo. I was lucky enough to find the company who actually sold it to me, because eBay doesn't tell you who sold it. How long did it take me to do all this? Wiring swap, engine harness, merge, the block swap, the block removal. Well, I got the engine out, the original 2.5, in about an hour. Easy enough anyway. After that, pulling the transmission out, doing all that, rear diff swap. It does get a little more intensive. You're looking at, at least a day's worth of work to do the transmission. I hate trannies. I hate them. And transmissions. They're very difficult, hard to deal with, both of them. And mine was no exception. To to get it removed, I had to fight it. The rear diff was I don't like those either. You got covered in gear oil. Now, thankfully, this is a Idaho only car, southern Idaho, and the winters here aren't too intense, unlike Salt Lake or Midwest, where you get like 40 feet of snow. Stuff, it's not that bad, not enough salt really to corrode anything. So my bolts and everything were pretty loose. It wasn't too bad for me, really. I've seen worse. I bought cars from Salt Lake that were just abysmal, and I've seen my friends struggle with rear bolts. There's these long bolts that hold your hubs together for your lateral links. They suck. Absolutely horrible to remove when they're rusty. I had to replace those on an 04. It was newer and it had worse links, I know, right? So 01 was in pretty good shape, I'd say. Given all that and the condition of the car, you probably could do it easily in a month or two, just depending on parts availability and what you can get and what you can find. Take a look. We've got setup here. Here's your HX35 full set turbo. It has been shaved down and clocked a different way. Both heads, exhaust housing. You need to keep your turbo line as vertical as possible to avoid oil starvation. And it's got the oil res or the cooling res just sitting there, just chilling. And this is not done yet. Believe me, there's definitely more work that could be done. But currently is speed density. There's your GM intake temp there. No math, of course. And original power steering pump, which is a nice, convenient thing about running the rotated turbo, actually. It's on that pedestal that allows me to rotate it. It was a really nice adapter. Did have to run a smaller Honda battery, S3K battery. It worked out pretty good. I do have a 2002 WRX radiator with my own mounts re-drilled. It was overall not too bad. If you guys want to know more about it, just let me know. I'll give you guys a full rundown of everything. I did enjoy the swap. It was fun. I enjoy the car. I enjoy the way it is. What would I change? If I could do it again, I would definitely change the turbo size or the motor or the gear ratios. Probably a mix of both. 2.5 all the way. It's going to be your best bet. 2.0 is cheaper for me, being that I get it for about $1,000. That was just more sensible. It came with a tranny too. It was a tranny and motor combo, but the motor was fine and the transmission was junk. The throwout bearings on the 5 speeds, if you don't change them, especially on the push styles, well, it's push styles only, mostly, the snout where the throwout bearing rides can actually get damaged if you let it go ungreased long enough. Say you go use the original clutch for 150,000 miles. Anybody ever says they have the original clutch on their Subaru, you need to like question their ability to have common sense. It's just not advisable. It's bad. Wears it out. The grease wears itself off after 10, 20, 30,000 miles, and then you're just rubbing the metal anyway. It needs to be greased regularly. The only way to do that is to do a clutch job. So you would think that a modified car would be a horrible way to go because it's been worked on a lot. Now that isn't always the answer with Subaru. If it's been worked on more, usually you're better off. It just depends on who had it last, honestly. Now my ideal combination would have been a 2.5 with a 390 or 3.5x gear ratio, some sort, Legacy GT spec B tranny, best, in my opinion, just because it's got the lowest final gear ratio in 6th, and getting 20 to 24 miles per gallon in a 2 liter is bad. That is absolutely awful. That's not flooring it. That's easy driving with a 2 liter, and I don't even get 25 hardly. And maybe after this last tune that I got, now it's fully tuned, it's a little better, but you're still looking no more than 25. I think on the last road trip I got about 25 on the freeway. In town it's pathetic. Just depends on what it is, how you drive, what kind of motor you got. Usually better gear ratios and less boost definitely can help with the mileage issue. I just don't know if I've quite gotten the performance that I wanted out of the car for the amount of power I'm making, but I'm a little bit over 300 wheel. Any more than the transmission starts to get a little iffy. But I mean, we're all iffy, right? Let's stop by the homie's house. See how his whip's doing